How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Alright, how's everyone doing? Oh, I need that because my platform crashed. Yes, my love. Crashed, but we had to fix a bunch of things here. Oh, and we're fixed. There we go. And now everything should be good. Camera should be good. And we are locked and loaded. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you had a wonderful day today. I had another green day. The whole focus is to just bank a little green day and you know, start building some confidence back, because we had some horrible days going into last week, and coming into this week from last week was not so fun for me and for a lot of people in my office too. It wasn't fun for all of us, but we were glad to take advantage of yesterday, today, banking some green days, you know, changing the confidence, making sure that we're being patient and then focus on the right trade. So good opportunities, but today was the kind of the day where you needed to, you know, throw away patience, throw away all kinds of playbooks, and really go for the gun, because the market was just so weak. It was so bearish. Trump tariff conversation shaking up everything. Auto tariffs were announced today at 4 p.m. I think it was 20% on all cars that are not made in America. And then you know, more tariff conversations coming on April 2nd. There was a new tariff conversation saying that he might consider putting less tariffs on China, but you know, it's just the might that's not 100% guaranteed. So April 2nd is going to be a big day. People were thinking that you know, some of these tariff talks are going to be on the more lenient side and not on the harder side. So that's why the market had a nice breakout pop. But now it's almost like, is this a dead cat bounce? Are we actually going to go back to the downside, go test those previous lows we were just at, and then break under that, at which point you know, is this market going into some sort of really bearish territories, recession territories even? some charts from people that I follow and I respect a lot. Short Bear on Twitter. He's posting some interesting charts to keep an eye on, in which if those patterns play out the way he's talking about, there could be a lot of weakness in the semiconductor sector, possible bubbles getting popped. And if the semiconductor sector gets popped, that means more downside in the overall market itself. So lots of conversations here being juggled. All theses at the end of the day, and only one thing that will prove the thesis over here is actual practical experiment, which is the market moving around on a day-to-day basis. And thankfully, we are involved in those experiments. We're just one of those guinea pigs and science tests in those experiments that the market has every single day. So that is the overall synopsis of what's going on right now in terms of my day. As I said, green day. So why don't we head over to the full screen and talk about my stocks real quick, and then we'll go to my watch list, which I don't even have. I don't have a watch list ready, so you guys are gonna help me create a watch list and also see my process of how I go through creating a watch list. Let's start off with talking about my trades on the day. I'm gonna keep it really quick and short because most of my trades were scalps. If there is a trade, I guess I'll explain some things. Tesla, this area over here, you could have shorted that. I was looking for a short here, risking somewhere above this top. Pretty solid consolidation. I think taking that short is not a bad call. Taking that short here is not a bad call. You could throw some sort of a trend line right there, and on that trend line break or around VWAP reject, the opening drive breakdown, the second chance scalp here, the second chance scalp here, the second chance scalp here multiple times, the rubber band scalp long. So there were so many opportunities today that you could have played out on Tesla if you were just watching for those setups to come into play. So for me, I found one quick one down here. The reason why I did not take this breakdown originally is because yesterday's low was just below around like 270 if I remember, so didn't want to get short into that level, and you can see how it really pushes into that area and kind of trades back and forth around that area. These tops are actually yesterday's levels right here where these tops are. So noticing the triple top, I offer into it, getting ready to take the breakdown, and since I offered into that pop, I got that fill. Nice little push to the downside, taking that breakdown. Also noticing that you know, we're stalling out over here, so possibly the smart thing to do is take some profits, basically taking profits from that size and putting a break-even stop for this stop, because I don't want to get trapped in a full reversal, which ends up having a full reversal. So nice decision making over there, taking a quick lunch money scalp. That could have been potentially a steak dinner, but instead it's going to be a quick lunch money, you know, a quick McDonald's Big Mac overall. So you're not really riding home with this trade. But if you had the trades off the open, somewhere around these areas or even here, which I don't think the first breakdown is, I guess if you do take the first breakdown, you might want to have a hard stop at the top of that range, and then you can study this area, use the candle high of the breakdown to risk as a soft stop to see if buyers come back in above that candle, and then you might want to jump out before it even pushes into that range high again. But the real trade, I guess, in this area for me, which is the lower day breakdown, is when the stock pushes back and rejects in that candle right there. So when it rejects that candle, the break of the previous candle low, possibly on the 2-minute or on the 1-minute, sometimes even on the 10-second charts, you can really see a good spot to join the trend back to the downside as sellers are in control. And this is a second chance scalp here, that's a second chance scalp there, that's a VWAP short. So a bunch of opportunities throughout the day. I was able to capitalize on one little move down there. Pinduoduo originally was looking for, you know, a breakdown below here. I guess I did break my rule from my stream last night. I said I wasn't interested in Pinduoduo at all. But it was on my charts on my screen, on the top of my screen, so I was like, okay, fine, what is the stock doing? It's actually pulling back into VWAP, and it's creating a really good range around VWAP. If the market being as weak it is, granted this is a Chinese stock, it doesn't have to do what our market is doing, and it clearly did not. So you know, if our market is weak, and if Pinduoduo wants to be weak along with it, potentially a breakdown of this little double bottom on 1 minute for me to join the trend back to the downside, where I have a very defined risk. There's a top over here, there's a double top over here, kinda, so very defined risk where I'm not having to put up too much as collateral. And if I do get the reward for it, the reward is you know, 3R already, 2R from where my entry would have been. So I was ready to take that trade, but noticing that we're actually gonna break up, I was like, okay, let it break up and then push back down. Potentially I could then join the breakdown. Then I figured, hey, let me actually go check FXI, Baba, Baidu. What are these stocks doing? Those stocks at that moment are, you know, are reversing. They're going higher. FXI, being the Chinese ETF, is actually going higher too. So I take that break out instead, looking for the breakdown. Now I flip based on the what the stock is showing me. I go long and I'm able to get that one measured move. This also ends up being you know, what is that called? Fashionably late scalp from SMB Capital. So this is when the 9 EMA crosses VWAP. You take the long, your target is basically the distance from the lower day to VWAP, and that ended up being exactly the top of that move over there on Pinduoduo. I had an order out there, it triggered, and boom, it was like picture perfect. It was amazing. So based on the stop to the reward, you know, clearly 3R or so on this simple trade itself. So I love taking SMB Capital setups like that. SMCI, you could call this a bouncy ball. Took the lower day breakdown, dance with this trade a little bit back and forth. It was fairly weak, so I think I'm okay with the way I dance with it. The fact that the market was weak was actually what helped me stay with the trade, to be honest. And if you also look at SMCI on the daily chart, not on the daily, I guess the daily and the hourly. This is the daily chart right now. You can see how SMCI was almost like a wedge pattern and just having a beautiful trend line to the upside. Let's go to the hourly, turn off regular trading hours, and right here you can see how that continuation was almost picture perfect. And then when we break that opening, that trend line on the opening range itself and stay to the downside, stay weak, also below $40, that was something that I've been talking to you guys for a while. So SMCI staying weak helped me look for that breakdown short. It was a little hard to stay with it, and I'm glad that you know, I turned a red name to the green name for me. It was a little bit of a battle on this one. Could have done better for sure on that board. Could have done better on this one. Amazon, couple problems on here. You could call this a little bit of a bouncy ball. You see how this area right here was a flat bottom, and that happens right after the stock kind of reverses and starts going back to the upside. So Amazon has that breakdown. That breakdown gets matched with buyers. Then you have that backside scalp kind of setup coming into play back into VWAP. The buyer over here still seems to be buying this area, but the sellers are moving lower and lower and lower. You see that because the stock is actually making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. It does make a higher high here, but right back to a lower high. This is very similar to a head and shoulders pattern on the 1 minute. So I'm taking that breakdown on the downside over here below that I guess it was 202.10, 202.20, I can't remember what it was. Taking that breakdown, risking that little pop area high. And sadly, I get out right before the trade actually starts to work for me. So that one's a little bit of a oopsies move over there. Scalps, you know, keeping it tight, keeping it simple, keeping it small, and trying to build back the confidence. But there are some trades where I try to hit for the home runs, and thankfully, instead of you know, completely ruining that trade for myself, because that's what I do when I try to swing for a home run, I actually ended up break even on this name. So let's talk about this bad boy. VVPR. You saw me trade the stock 2 days ago, few days ago. Today morning they came out with a catalyst saying, yes, we are in talks to get acquired for $120 million. Currently the stock is trading around like $20 million. VVPR, if you go check the valuation, they're at $20 million. So if $120 million is the value for this name to get bought out, that's around $10, $9, $11. So looking for a bigger move up, and I was in La La Land. I was dreaming that we're going to halt up after breaking $5, go up to the north side, halt, and and then straight up open into like $10. So that really didn't end up happening. Clearly didn't end up happening. And if you look at you know, one of the biggest traders out there in small cap, who sadly, I shouldn't be laughing because you know, it sucks when people lose money. I know too well about it. But you know, if you follow one of the biggest traders out there on the market, he kind of had the same vision, I think, right? They could have seen straight go to 6, 7, etc. Had to, what is it? Let's see what he's talking about. Had a lot of conviction on the straight move up versus 4.6, which lined up as a clear out spot versus prior highs, blah 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 blah. Almost went dollar on top of that. Had to eat it, and had to eat it near the top. At that point, it could have went to 6, 7, 9.9, etc. Then flip long versus 4.6 daily level, thinking at least to retest the high day, and got rugged. Sucks, minor wins, blah 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 blah. So the same concept at the end of the day as me, but thankfully, you know, I actually know where to put my stops, and I stuck with my stop. But it's good to see that other people had a similar idea and a similar hope. You know, this could have easily gone $6, $7, $9, and for the size that I had in this name, I could have ended up having a pretty decent day if it did that. But nope, it didn't do that. Quickly scalping some profits for the size that I had here, and then for the size that I had on this breakdown, I could have potentially gotten taken out over here or somewhere over here. I figured I'll just put the stop below VWAP and move on from it, at which point, if I do lose, I actually turn the stock to break even completely. I give back the money that I make on the original scalps, and I just go to break even, which I'm okay with. And it turns out that that's actually the right decision to be made, because the stock never gets back above from that area. Yeah, it does get back above a little bit, but never really gets back above. ABBV. This one, if you guys watch my stream, not a lot of you actually watch my stream every day, but if you do watch my streams, you would see that I was very adamant on shorting this name. But where did I say to short this? I said to short it around yesterday's VWAP, and you can see how stock actually set up for a beautiful short. You could have gotten in 202.35, risking 203, so about $1, and you end up getting a good $2 move or dollar move to the downside, without having to risk. What was that risk reward? So that's about a 75-cent risk for about a $2, $1.75, $1.60 reward. So not a bad trade, maybe a B or a C trade from that area. But what happened to me was I got trapped by the original sell-off. No, I'll be honest, I did recognize this drop below yesterday's low, but also the pop right after. But after that pop, I was waiting for yesterday's VWAP to come into play, but clearly sellers were anticipating a sell-off before that, and they started front running that level, so you started seeing a little bit of back and forth on that stock. So I figured, okay, let me get short. But then I said, no, Prad, you're not sticking to your game plan. Your game plan was wait for this level to come into play. Who cares what happens over here? And if you miss it from here, we can look for a different setup later on. And hence, because of that, I just threw an order to get out for break even, and I walked away from it. So I forced a trade, realized I was forcing it, and I got out from the trade. TSLS, basically looking for a Tesla short. I don't know why I trade these leverage ETFs for Tesla. I never actually end up managing these properly. Just go trade Tesla when it comes to these names. Yes. Ended up flat on that trade overall. Another flat trade here. Took that little range breakdown low of 115. This area had a little bit of a back and forth for quite some time, so I took that range breakdown, but then right back on the pop without too much follow through. I took that stop and I walked away. Could have taken that breakdown over here potentially, and that would have been a good trade to be involved in. A lot of my friends, two of my friends actually, Dallas and Caterino Pepperino, took that trade and they enjoyed the ride to the downside without me, so screw those motherfuckers. But no, I decided to not be involved in this trade because of the levels that were right below on Nvidia, especially on the hourly chart. Maybe because of those levels are down there, it was almost guaranteed that we were gonna go down there on this breakdown, especially if there was follow through. So potentially could have taken that short into those levels. I'll show you exactly what levels I'm talking about. So here is well, let's keep this on the. So these levels right here that I had marked up, you can see how Nvidia actually stayed right above it, and I was worried about buying in these areas, being aggressive and kind of stepping higher than these areas, but it did move down there, so I didn't want to really fight that area too much. I guess wrong decision overall, because that breakdown from last week's low actually ended up giving you a move into last month's low, and that was what, like a $1.50, and your risk was probably 50 cents, so worth it of a trade maybe, but I wanted this one over here to work more, honestly, and I was salty that this didn't work, and possibly that made me not take the next trade. I'm guessing that's what happened. GM, tariff, auto news, blah 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 blah. GM getting moved around, big news move, pops up, has a little bit of a back and forth here. I'm watching it on the 2-minute chart. I'm watching it on the 5-minute chart. Offering to get short in the higher these ranges and putting a stop above the range. I get stopped out. Immediately stock moves right back down. I'm like, oh wow, what a scam. But thankfully, the old Pratt habits didn't kick back in, where I jump right back into the trade, because I would have gotten hurt again. The stock does nothing but pop right back up. What I did want to do was wait for VWAP. Don't make fun of my accent. Wait for VWAP to come back into play, but also if you notice, the opening range low of the day was exactly where the stock pops into and then gives you a second chance scalp right back to the downside. Pops back into VWAP, pops back into the opening range low, gives you a second chance reject off of that auto tariff news, and then later on in the day more news comes out that Trump is actually going to be having this auto tariffs at 4 p.m. today. So anticipating on that, even bigger drop on GM, on STLA, on Ford. So I screwed up by putting more focus on SMCI, which actually did nothing but trade sideways this whole time. I should have had some eyes or alerts on GM, and missing out on that one. Missing out. Okay, IBIT. If you look at Bitcoin had a little bit of a bouncy ball pattern. So if Bitcoin was breaking down, I was interested on a IBIT breakdown. You can call this a bouncy ball pattern also. So on that nice little bouncy ball breakdown, getting short and quickly scalping profits, and then getting stopped out on that move right back through to the north side. Last but not least, usually when the market is so weak, looking for that power hour sell-off into the end of day is not a bad idea. So I was looking for the market to really go back into VWAP, a bigger dip. This is actually SQQQ, it's not QQQ. So this is the 3 times leverage ETF. I might be wrong on the 3 times, maybe it's 2 times, but anyways, leverage ETF. Was looking for a bigger pullback to VWAP on the market. Never really has it. It gets rejected from like what, 21 EMA if I remember correctly on the 5-minute, and then pushes back down. So as the market takes out the lower day, I'm getting long on SQQ and looking for that full power hour into 4 o'clock move to the downside. Never really ends up getting that bearish into close, so taking a little loss on this. I think my real loser on the day today was basically SQQQ and GM. The rest of them were either break even or profitable trades for your boy. Your boy had a pretty decent day. Trump tweeted, I have this guy on alerts. You have to have him on alerts. Potentially even have the White House on alerts now, because you might not want to miss out anytime he says something. You want to be very, very attentive. Is that what it is? Alert. You want to know exactly things like these. Trump maybe I'll give China a reduction in tariffs. So things like these you want to be alerted to as they happen, because that could be seen as a positive thing, but still market taking a nosedive in the after hours today. Let me quickly show you. After hours still taking a nosedive on the market. Not sure where it is now, but yeah, bearish. All right, how's everyone doing on the chat? We got a new person. Faux Hammer, your intro and outro are quality. Well, the outro is pretty garbage, but the intro is quality. The outro song is great and the intro song is great, but the outro video is garbage. It's just a bunch of animations thrown at you with the follow me alerts over there. But no, I appreciate the comments. The music is made by none other than your boy Dieter. Give your boy Dieter a follow. Go check him out on his YouTube account. I think if you click on his name and go to his account, you will be able to go check out his music that way. He has more music. He recently went to Egypt and he made an Egypt-based song. I'm actually I like that song. I was listening to it today on my way to work. I like it. Where is it? Dieter. How do I pull up your goddamn account? Every time I struggle with this, dude. Okay, just to show you. Alright, maybe I shouldn't pull up my history of YouTube in front of you guys at the moment. Probably not the smartest thing to do. Alright, but go check out Dieter. He makes great music. He's the one who made the intro and the outro and all the other songs that you hear throughout the stream. Probably not as loud because I'm trying to be loud myself, but all the music that you hear throughout the stream is all created by Dieter himself. Thank you, Dieter, for awesome soundtracks. Alright, let's go take a look at what we have from our friends at Center Point. What stocks are they talking about? GME up 11%, which what did I not say? Watch GME go to $30 tomorrow and then get rejected from $30. What did GME do? Huh? What did GME do? Exactly word to word. Went to 30 bucks, rejected from 30, and then in the going into after hours, I don't know what happened over here, but absolutely slammed down after hours. So what actually happened? Option traders pile for thing 1.3 bet offers convertible senior notes. They did a share offering. Okay, so that one plummeted right back. So 360, not 360, 180 move right back to the earnings low where the stock came from. Within 24 hours. Is that yeah, within 24 hours. That's beautiful. But your boy TraderPrad, Prastradamus, I told you, watch the stock go to 30 and reject 30. I think that's basically going to be the end of the trade there for the stock for me. I don't see much setting up. They did a share offering, so maybe there is looking for a short continuation on the pops. But besides that, the earnings report wasn't banger. Yeah, they're holding crypto or Bitcoin, on their reserve, but that doesn't make me that's not bullish enough for me, right? So lots of question marks still about how GME is going to turn around and actually make a profitable company. I think their decline was 24% year over year. So let's put it on the watch list. Let me actually go here, create a watch list for today. I love creating the watch list, but got too busy. So let's start with Ford. Do I want to find? I'll do it GME STLA because these names might have some fun tomorrow. Let's throw in GME because it did report earnings. mRNA, why that? Down 7% after the CDC considering taking back 11.4 billion in grants that they were allocated to state and local health departments for COVID-19 related projects. So mRNA, what are you looking like on the daily at the moment? That could be oof. mRNA pushes into that low and actually breaks that low. That could be a fun trade. So you might want to have some alerts set up if it does go down there. So I'm just gonna put an alert down at 30 bucks. I know that low is 29.25, but if it does go down there, I want to be ready for that trade to see if it breaks down or if it holds up above it. QBTS down 5% as quantum stocks fell during general market volatility. Yeah, you can just say that about nearly any damn stock. SMCI fell as Goldman Sachs put a sell rating on the stock amid pressure and AI stocks and server competition, and people are saying AI bubbles bursting, so potentially that's also causing some weakness, and technical levels also giving you some trade opportunities on SMCI today. So that one always on the watch list. That one usually goes with Palantir and SMCI. I always put them together. I don't know why, but they just belong in the same basket for me. JYD up again. Man, I did check the stock, but it had no volume when I checked it. But you're telling me that it had volume later on? That is bullcrap. It's bullcrap. So I guess there is something going on with JYD. Maybe keep an eye on it. Volume picking up. Yesterday's volume was I thought it was non-existent. Today's volume looks a little bit better. Oh, I saw average volume yesterday and I thought volume was non-existent. Yesterday's volume was actually 4 million. Today's volume is 13 million. The stock is clearly trapping shorts or doing something crazy. Has it been 180 days? Well, if you're seeing the 200 day moving average, probably been more than 180 days since IPO, because that is the liquidation date usually. So let's go take a look at that. How many days has it been here? That is 705 days since IPO, so well above that already. But yeah, no, this one belongs up here for sure, along with a bunch of other small cap names, maybe like MLGO, because that stock has been absolutely ruining people's dreams. Short sellers have been getting bent over on MLGO, so potentially worth keeping an eye on that one. DLTR up 3% following the report of the company's financial report. We talked about that yesterday, but I didn't look at the stock all day, and honestly, for a good reason. I don't think I would have traded it, so I'm not sure I'm gonna put it on my watch list for tomorrow. And sadly, that's all the juice we're gonna get from my friends over at Centerpoint. Maybe quickly go take a look at what stocks actually did move today with the activity. What stocks had activity today? Obviously the news names, GameStop, not much. So you know, let's just throw some names here from memory, such as MSTR, Coinbase, IBIT, Robinhood. Now we got the large caps, so that will be Apple. Do I want to see quantum names for tomorrow? IonQ does look like a failed breakout on the daily chart, so potential weakness below these 2 days. You got the 200-day moving average at $20. QUBT, QBTS potentially having a little bit of a cleaner chart for the short side. Right there you can see how $8, you have a $8 under over, then you have a 750 low, so maybe QBTS, and then you can have IonQ as your guide. So I'll put these two on my watch. D wave, so QBTS, and then below that here, I completely forgot to take a look at drone stocks. So let me go see if drone stocks. Well, I don't think drone stocks are flying today because the whole market was plummeting. So yeah, everything was to the downside. So forget about drone stocks for now. Let's just continue with large cap. Apple, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, Tesla, QQQ, SPY, IWM, DIA. I did have Walmart on my watch list yesterday, but I didn't trade it today at all. Walmart didn't sell off today, but it also didn't get bought today like crazy. Market. What do you want to do? All right, looks like I have a watch list ready for us. So why don't we start taking a look at it? No earnings names that interest me from what I remember. Micro MVIS. Nope. CNXC. Ooh. Okay, that's not bad. You went up to last month's high, which was up to $50.60. Up here and a little bit below the 200-day moving average. That's not bad. You also have like a wedge breakout and some possible resolution to the upside, maybe a test of the 200-day moving average, and then if the earnings report's really solid, maybe more upside. What is the stock's average daily volume? Looks like less than 1 million shares, so that's going to be a little bit of a turnoff over there. Overall, not seeing any names that excite me too much other than Woof. No, I'm joking. Who let the dogs out? Woof is not bad volume for a stock that's a $2, but you know, you want to see like, but not bad volume for a stock that's $2, in a very tight range and breaking up on what seems to be a slight beat on well, decent beat on EPS and a little bit of a miss, very slight miss on revenue. So popping up on that looks like if you want to have penny stock mover type of stock, it's not a penny stock mover, but the ATR is 17 cents. I'm not thinking the stock moves more than 50 cents tomorrow. So if you want to keep an eye on that one, potentially Woof is something to keep an eye on. Chewy, It also pulled back today, didn't it? It didn't really pull back, but nah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Chewy for tomorrow. All right, let's start with Ford. Tariffs. Oh my goodness, that 4 o'clock move, huh? That 4 o'clock move really got that stock. The 4 o'clock move also getting GM over here and STLA. So at this point, any pops on these names are obviously very interesting. Ford getting below $10 and pushing right into last week's low, 974. I'm gonna quickly go to the hourly chart here, regular trading, and oof. That does not excite me at all. Man, let's go to GM instead. You're basically pushing into right here. I can delete this now, I'm pretty sure, right? Where's that alert? Damn. Damn. Pushing into a very solid support here on GM. On tariff news, hopefully we get a pop to get short into. You know, a pop into $50, somewhere into 50, where a reject shows up, and then have some fun with the short to the downside. But we're throwing an anchored VWAP for the news itself. Maybe I think the news actually maybe even started from up here technically. So really depends on where you anchor it. Maybe you can anchor both. You could anchor from here and here. But I'm just gonna study the price action tomorrow, basically looking for pops to short into. Ideally, you know, the stock pops into 50 bucks and sets up for a short. But if it does push into this last month's low, which is around 45.50, and then sets up for a breakdown below 45.50, I mean, let's party. Let's party, because that's clear bearish under the 200-day moving average. STLA, hopefully you have a better chart. You do have a way better chart than Ford, and hopefully this is on the right market. Yes, you are on a better on New York market. Way better chart, dropping off in the after hours also. So I think this one potentially much cleaner to trade. $11 name, having 30 million shares at 20 million shares average, but 30 million shares traded today. I think on any pop, as long as the stock is below today's low, basically $12, you're just no-brainer short the stock. If it does reclaim $12, I think that low right there was $11.40. If it does reclaim $12, you might not want to be fighting the long at that point, so be careful. But I might still keep an eye out for today's VWAP, which is at 12.15. So watching couple levels around $12 to look for the continuation short. So out of all of these three, this one's the highest priority, this one's the second highest priority, and this one's the lowest priority for the tariff moves. So this one is not really 12. What is last week's low? Last week's low, I guess it is 12. 11.94. 11.94 to 12 bucks. Keeping an eye on that one. For my notes, actually I can delete this. I don't need. Okay. Notes, looking for day 2. If stock can stay below 12, I like the shorts. Didn't mean to comment. Over here, we're gonna go for, instead of 12.50 resistance, I don't want to see the stock above. And Ford, I'm not even gonna bother putting any notes for it, because I don't even want to look at the stock anymore. I don't want to look at it. Okay, GM. I mean, this completely puts anyone who bought the stock today, pre-market, after hours, all of them underwater, right? The company just sold off on you and generated more cash. this is the CEO that you guys are you know, praising. Obviously the convertible notes are like what, 2030, so it's not like it's happening right now on that candle, but it's just crazy to see the hype that GME had back in the day. But at the moment, you know, it's I can't shit on GME because I recently bought toys for my niece from GME, so I can't shit on them too much. There's a gap to be filled. If that news is bearish, you got a gap fill. There is there a chance for this to go back to 30 tomorrow? I don't think so. But if it does, I think it's an easy short again once it does go back there. Today's VWAP will be important, which is basically the earnings VWAP. If it pushes into earnings VWAP, which is currently around $28, $28.50. So if it does push back into today's VWAP or somewhere around these lows over here, today's lows, that could be a short around there too. So $28 to $28.50, potentially acting as a resistance tomorrow on pops for this name, and I don't think it gets above that. If it does get above it and pushes back into today's high of $30, I am so excited for the short. Looking short on pops into our VWAP. If stock gets to 30, love the short, but if strong above 30 or near 30, be careful. Wait for a failed break. Right. Palantir. With the market going back down, Palantir should look weak. So let's go to the daily chart here real quick and right back into the hourly candle, hourly trend line that we had drawn recently. Very similar to SMCI, right? Hourly trend line, potentially breaking that will make things spicy again. So we'll
Butterfly donated
if the
$2 through
area
Super Chat.
does break down
Ghibli
and
Grad
take
doesn't
us
look
right.
like an Uncle Tongue Out.
Oh, is that a... we did get a super chat. I was like, what am I hearing just now? A super chat came in. Woo, Ghibli Prad, grad. Ghibli Prad doesn't look like an uncle. Yes, I was pretty happy with it. However, TH was not happy with it, so I had to create a bunch of other images. Hold up, give me a second here. Let me So this one, we have this guy, and we have this guy. These aren't bad. I like them. I like them. I like them. Hi, Ani. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Look who showed up again. Clowny showed up. Clowny. After she... You guys want me to show you something? Hold up. Hold up. Let me show you something. After she basically broke up with me, now she wants to come back. They always do. They always do. They always break up and they always want to come back to you guys. Be careful of these women, man. Just be careful. Let me show you. Why do those
AUNY Butterfly
disappear?
donated $2 through Super Chat. Phew. Ghibli Grad doesn't look like an Uncle Tongue Out.
Where did my notifications disappear? What the? Is that one of those notifications that just disappears? Like one of those your friend is in space type of notifications that disappears over time? Oh man, now I have no proof. Now I have no proof. Oh man. I'm upset. Oh, that's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. Look how many notifications you get. You're famous. Says the person who is literally all day getting probably blasted with notifications. What do you mean? Okay, let's come back to the market. It's already 8:50 and I've only gone through a couple stocks over here. Palantir under over 90. I think if the market has a weekday tomorrow, I don't see Palantir staying strong above 90. So that's going to be the important level for me, under over $90. So getting below 90 and staying weak below 90 also takes it below that trend line, at which point I'm looking short on every single pop on Palantir. SMCI already had a nice weekday today. Let me just delete some of these lines here that I had drawn from today because I won't need them. This one will be interesting. Basically looking for a day 2 short on pops into today's VWAP. If it does show you weakness around today's VWAP, which is actually surprisingly right at last week's low, so $38. Today's VWAP and last week's low. If SMCI manages to get back above 38, it could have some room into 40, so you might want to be careful. If stock gets above 38, could go to 40. Wait for that to get short. If I'll just put there we go, and move on from it. Go back to the daily real quick because I want to keep a note of that level down there, 34.50, potentially support coming into play around that area. JYD, clearly no clue what's going on in this name. Pushing into very close to territories where the stock has never really traded before. It traded on the IPO, but never really traded after that. So any real price discovery that's happening at the moment, it's happening with you and I. So if you want to be involved in it, make sure you're careful, use stops. I'm sure the liquidity sucks in this name, and it could be very trappy. So JYD, I'm gonna make sure to put this one as a little bit of a high color and maybe even add it to my daily watch list so I don't. I guess I can do all this after stream. MLGO, I did say I don't want to be stuck trying to short this stock, right? And guess what, a lot of people I know have been trying to short this name and they've been getting hurt real bad. Somebody gonna get hurt real bad today, so you want to be careful playing these games on these Chinese stocks, man. The China #1, okay, China #1. So CCP not letting the stock go to the downside. You want to be a little careful where you're shorting it. If you are shorting it, I'm sure there's people who are shorting it and making money, right? But it's a very tricky name, very tricky name. So based on that, I'm going to be a little dipping my toes in water, not really fully swimming in the water. I'm not gonna be drinking the whole Kool-Aid when it comes to trading this name. That's the idea with it. MSTR, potential reversal back down over here with the market going back down. You had Bitcoin breaking down today a little bit, slight little breakdown on Bitcoin over there from yesterday's low. So Bitcoin potentially, if it leaks back down, then market leaks back down also. You got MSTR, you also got Coinbase, and this is one I'm way more interested about, because if Coinbase gets below this low, things get really spicy. So make sure you have alerts over there. I already have alerts set up, so I don't need to really worry about that at the moment. Robinhood also pulling back with the rest of the market. I did talk about IonQ as a barometer to trade QUBT. So watch IonQ and QBTS, sorry, not QBT. Watch IonQ to trade watch IonQ to trade QBTS. If IonQ does look weak, I think this one will set up below 8 for a move to the downside, and you get a good short opportunity over there. Use IonQ as, I guess I'm just gonna watch the whole sector, and I think QNTM is actually, nope, that's not it. quantum ETF is fun. It is. QBTS going up, says Dieter, or is he talking about MicroStrategy and Bitcoin? Because his money is in Bitcoin. MicroStrategy still holding 5-day moving average. I like it. Hopefully, Dieter, for your sake, I pray this one does go back up. But the market, Dieter, not looking too good. I'll talk about my points as to why the market doesn't look the best, or at least how some people who I follow are tweeting, and I 100% follow these guys because they deserve to. They have all the merit and so on. Okay, quickly going through the last few stocks. Apple, Amazon was a good short today, and Amazon gets back below 200. That's an easy move back into 190. So Amazon, you're pretty much using 200 as your under over inflection level, and you're waiting to see what Amazon behaves like above around that level, above around below that level. Meta, still one of the stronger Magnificent Seven, but I'm just not a big fan of Meta's liquidity, so I'm not going to care about it too much. Microsoft, Google, I'm not too interested about these either. More so I care about Nvidia and Tesla. Nvidia pushing down below those daily lows right there, 113, 112.88. That's going to be the trigger to look for a big short. Ooh, the big short. Look at that. Look for the big short if we get below that area on Nvidia. As long as the market looks weak and Nvidia also looks weak along with it, Nvidia is not able to find buyers above 113 or around 113. That means it's a no-brainer short for me right back to the south side. So be very careful here. Papa Trump, not Papa Trump, Daddy Trump, whatever. Trump not being nice to the markets at the moment at all. Let me go to the hourly chart here. Let me turn that off again. Let me turn back on again. Not looking as bad as Nvidia, honestly. Maybe not. They're both looking okay. I won't try to scare people here. And Tesla, maybe the news of tariffs on auto is actually a good thing for Tesla. I don't know how that news is going to be perceived. Play the price action. You know, 100% on watch no matter what. You know, when the market moves around, Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia are the 4 magnificent stocks that I always go to. So 100% keeping an eye on this one tomorrow. But Nvidia has a way more clear-cut game plan for me, so that might deserve all my attention, or just, you know, trade that one stock tomorrow if it sets up and really put all my risk on the day on that one name and have a good day instead of trading like 7 different names, right? So just an idea out there to keep an idea. Alright, anyways, QQQ going back to the downside. You guys know the story. I don't need to tell you. So not a good story at the moment. S&P 500 right back to 200 average. Bear markets happen below 200-day moving average. So you don't want to see that. This was a little scary, but it looked better. But now it looks scary again. So not looking so good. DIA. This is when I say Walmart. You know, it's not a good thing to see Walmart down here. Seeing Walmart down here is like, what the heck? Especially when people are worried about possible recessions. These are the names where money gets parked into when people are worried about recession. So seeing the opposite of that is a lot more worrisome. Tariffs are going to affect everything. I mean, I think my manager was actually saying a story of how he was buying apples recently and it was like at a crazy price. Eggs are a crazy price. Everything's a crazy price at the moment, and the prices are too damn high, right? And that's the story we have at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Trump. That's your man. You guys voted him. Okay. Tomorrow for the econ calendar. Let's go see what's happening over here. Continuous jobless claims, 830 core PCE, 830 GDP, 830 GDP price index, 830 goods trade balance, 830 initial jobless claims, 830 real retail inventories X auto, 830 pending home sales, 10 o'clock, 7-year auction notes at 1 o'clock, Fed balance sheet 430. So clearly everything's at 8:30. God damn it. You know, why not pace these out a little bit? Maybe it's actually a good thing that everything's at 8:30 and not paced out, because then it really doesn't matter what happens after 8:30 for us, and the market's basically smooth sailing. It's a smooth criminal tomorrow after 8:30, and whatever happens, whenever Trump opens his mouth, whenever he says tariffs or anything, all of that fears will be bleeding into the market. April 2nd, exactly 1 week from now, next week Wednesday, we'll be hearing more tariff conversations, and people are potentially positioning themselves to not get hurt going into that, and hence you're seeing the market. I'm guessing these are live. Hopefully these are live, please God. But the overnight markets are looking like they want to continue going down, so not looking good at the moment. The VIX is back up. This is something I always screw up on. High priority. If the market goes sideways or up, short UVXY and really focus up on this one, because this is going to be one of the easiest trades tomorrow. Shorting volatility if market goes down or if market goes back up. So let's keep an eye on this. Or if market goes down, you can also get long on this too, right? An easy long on UVXY also. So a couple ideas over here. Every time I forget to put this one on my watch list, and I think this is the perfect time, because tomorrow we could have a volatility contraction as people are cooling off and waiting for what happens, and then if a news catalyst comes out, that's when you might get destroyed on the UVXY. But this could also be a way for you to hedge your position, right? If you're along the market and randomly a position thing comes out, you could quickly manage your positions depending on how quick you are, and potentially make some money on both sides, depending. Alright, that's basically today's stream, ladies and gentlemen. Couple main high focus stocks: STLA, UVXY, Palantir, QBTS, Nvidia, and then anything that moves tomorrow in the pre-market. We'll see how they set up tomorrow. Make sure you tune in, because we do have a big IPO on Friday. So big IPO Friday, we're going to be learning more about that on the stream tomorrow at 8 o'clock, the final week. I'll see you guys then. It's been an absolute pleasure. Good luck tomorrow. Hopefully you found some levels. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Today's stream was brought to you by TraderSync. If you want to track all your progress, all your trading stats, and know exactly where you went wrong, right, how to improve on your trading, this is the tool right there. You can also check out a bunch of my affiliate sponsors at the same time and get discounts for them using the links below in the description or in my profile, depending on what streaming platform you're watching me on. All right, TraderPrad out. Time for the outro. And for Hammer, I'm pretty sure that was his name, right? For Hammer, was it for? Faux Hammer. Because you like the outro song, I'll play the whole outro song today. Go. Take care, boys. Peace.
TraderPrad, he's here. As a trader, trade like that every single day. Playbook. playbooks, monster moves on the QQQ, monster moves on NVIDIA and other positions too all across the board. Magnificent 7 also had a pretty good day on themselves today, so pretty good moves across the board. Tech Basky get destroyed. Get ready for trade off of. Get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow, as you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.